Hi everyone, my name is Andrei and welcome back to another video. Today we will talk about a very important topic, and that is WordPress security. Today we will look at a list of things that you should stop doing and you should do in order to make your WordPress website as secure as possible. This list is split in two parts. The first one covers things that you should not do, or you should stop doing if you are doing them, and the second part covers things that you should start doing today if you are not doing them. So without further ado, let's see the first item on the list, and that is not using a weak password. You might be tempted to use a weak password just to remember it easier, but using a password like 123456 or admin or even your username, it's an extremely bad security practice. So, if you are using a weak password, after giving this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm, you should go and change it right now. Let's go to the second item on the list, and that is do not use a bunch of old and outdated plugins. A lot of plugins that are sold on the internet, on the various marketplaces out there, they are no longer maintained and updated by the developers. And that means a huge security issue, because if someone finds a vulnerability, maybe no one will know about it, aside from the guy who found it. So if that one person decides to abuse the vulnerability, you and other website owners are in a huge trouble. And believe me, I have found plugins on the internet that have been last updated 6 or 7 years ago, like in 2014. Were they insecure? Probably. Have we stopped using them? Absolutely. Okay, the next point ties into this one, and that is you should not use an old and outdated theme. The same it goes for themes as it goes for plugins. If the theme on your website hasn't been updated in like 5 years or so, and believe me again, I have seen websites that are running themes that the last update was in 2015, and that is 6 years ago. If your website is like that, in this moment you should go and just buy another theme, use another theme, maybe even remake your whole website, because again, if a vulnerability is found in your theme, no one knows about it. It's no longer maintained by the developers, it's no longer updated, and it's just like an old ruin. The fourth item on our list is a little bit more abstract, if I can say it so, because it's less tangible than the other ones, and that is you should not use the cheapest hosting that you can get your hands on. Yeah, we know WordPress is free. You have complete freedom to use it, you have complete freedom to modify it, upgrade it, you can do whatever you want with WordPress, but still, if you want to have a WordPress website on the internet, you still have to buy a domain name and web hosting. And we need to pay for them for as long as we have the website. So that's why when we try to compare the cost of WordPress, which is basically free software to use, with the cost of web hosting, we may try to cut corners in order to save money. But that's where the problems start. And let me give you an example. You buy some cheap shared hosting from a web hosting provider. Your website is on the same IP address and the same physical server, physical computer with hundreds of other websites, if not thousands. And you can be sure that a good amount of the websites there haven't been updated in ages. And one of those websites gets hacked. If the website gets hacked and the security on the server is not good, the whole server will be compromised and hacked. So, as well, your precious website will be compromised. So that's why I recommend to you that you should look at web hosting not as a cost, but as an investment. Cheap, slow, unreliable, and unsecure web hosting is a cost and a liability to your business, but good, fast, and secure web hosting is an asset and an investment. For example, you can go with SiteGround for web hosting. They are fast, secure, and their price is really good if you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on that. But if you want to spend a whole bunch of money, you can go for a managed WordPress hosting service like WP Engine or Kinsta. I will have links in the description for those. Let's go to the second part of this list and see what you should start doing today in order to increase your website security. And the first thing you need to do is hitting the like button for the YouTube algorithm. Thanks, I'm waiting for it. Okay, I trust you did it. No. The fifth item on our list is that you should update the WordPress core on a regular basis. WordPress is a great project and thousands of people are working on it to make it better and make it more secure. So by default, when a new update is on the way, you should update your website to the new version as soon as possible. The only exception to this rule may be when it's a major update on the way, like from 5.5 to 5.6, or maybe from the version 5.9 to version 6. And that's why you should maybe postpone it, but no longer than a week, because some other major plugins that your website might be using, like WooCommerce or advanced custom fields or other major plugins, may have not been already updated for the next version. So if it's a major update, you may have like permission to delay the update for about a week at most, but eventually you should update as soon as possible. The next thing on our list is that you should update the theme and the plugins that your website uses on a regular basis. I think this should go without saying, but one update a day keeps the hackers away. No, you should update your website. You should definitely update more than one thing a day on your website. Themes and plugins are the greatest vulnerability in WordPress, actually, if you think about it. If you would go with a bare bones WordPress installation and maybe one of their themes like 2021 for example, and of course a good web host, you would be more secure than maybe 90% of the websites out there. So as I've said earlier, you should update the theme of your website and the plugins you are using, because on a regular basis the developers that are actually maintaining those plugins and those themes are releasing security updates. Now let's jump to the seventh thing on our list, and that is installing a security plugin and using a web application firewall, or WAF or WAF if you want. There are a lot of other things that we have not covered in this video and we will not cover in this video. But if you are using a good WordPress security plugin, that can do a lot of heavy lifting for you. You should install a security plugin like WordFence or Sucuri and also activate the web application firewall that they offer. This will block spam traffic, spam comments, brute force attacks, and all other kinds of nasty stuff. And we've come to the last thing on our list, and that is making regular backups for your website. Having a backup of your WordPress website will keep you covered if you come into a worst case scenario. Sometimes, regardless of how much you try to keep your website secure, some things can happen. Your site can be hacked in some unpredictable way, or even you may break something on your website by changing something that you should not change. So when this happens, it's extremely better to have a backup solution already in place. And you don't need anything too complicated. You can even go and install a plugin like Updrafts Plus. This one I think is free. Or WordPress. This one is premium backup plugin developed by the creators of WordPress. So I think it's pretty good, right? So if you don't have a backup solution, go and install one right now. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot for watching and staying up until this point in the video. And if you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, and thanks a lot for watching. Have a great day.